Look at this. I got headphones on. I got a mic going. Baby.
If
Huh?
only people could see you now.
Hey, no video. We've gone through this before.
All right,
No
all right,
video.
all right. Welcome to This Commerce Life. This is a podcast aimed at small, medium entrepreneurs focused on commerce. I'm Phil, your host, and Kenny, your co-host, will join us as well. And we're going to talk to you about the world of retail and commerce and how things are changing in the world.
Us, because I've only bought one card off this guy and the shipping's too much, so I got to buy a couple more cards. So while we're chatting with these two lovely people, I'm bidding on cards.
The Shoplands. We haven't seen you guys in a long time.
Can you hear us okay? Or is our
Yeah.
volume and stuff all right?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Jimmy, sorry, yesterday was just a gong show. It just wasn't going to happen.
That's fine. I understand.
Yeah,
You guys
it
got
wasn't gonna
artwork behind you. Like, what's going on here? This is like a real studio.
Well, this is like a studio. That's comics.
Kenny's got all his comics.
Yeah, I can't show you this
daughter's
room.
stuff, so
This room's embarrassing. Like, it's just there's a trail of floors. It's just an absolute gong show in here. Amelia just gets so angry when she comes up here.
So whose room is that?
Mine. It's my hobby room. You know, I've got just stuff everywhere. It's like just a shit show in here. It really is. I don't know how else to describe it.
Beautiful.
Like, even I get embarrassed. Well, not really, but you know, if I had any feelings or anything, I'd be embarrassed too. I don't care. I really don't care. I love my room, but it is a mess.
Oh,
Phil, you got some artwork behind you? Who's that? Who drew all that stuff?
that's my youngest.
Oh,
So
great.
that's all her drawings.
Pretty impressive, eh?
Kidding.
Pretty impressive. I want the one with the treehouse. I want the treehouse.
So the treehouse is the piece that got her into the art school that she auditioned for.
Wow.
Yeah. So she's not.
Never
Sorry,
say never,
Kenny.
baby. Never say never.
She might sell
Never
it to
say
you as an
never.
NFT, and then you'd have to pay through the nose for it. So
It's fine. I just, you know what? I'll hang it on the wall for a couple of years and then charge the next guy an obscene amount of money.
oh man, it's
Everybody will win.
You know, honestly, like so you guys don't know. I've been telling Kenny about this, but she has a YouTube channel. She's been drawing anime. They call it gacha now, and I think she just cracked 80,000 followers, 80,000 subscribers.
Crazy, eh? She's
Yeah.
good though. Like, it's really, I mean, I don't get it, but that's beside the point.
Yeah.
But it's pretty cool.
Yeah, she's hit a couple of. I think she's got something like 6 or 7, like 1 million, over 1 million views, that sort of stuff. So
Oh
it's
my
crazy.
gosh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty impressive.
Yeah,
That
but
is-
she's really boss, right? Like, so the other week she changed her storylines and like, you know, she slowed everything down and changed the storylines a little, and not everyone likes it. And I monetized her, right? So I help her, you know, so she's making more money than me right now. Yeah, seriously, per month. I'm not joking. Like, she's actually making more than me. And we got her paycheck because her viewership came down because she's changed the storylines. And she was like, "Eh, they don't like it, they can go somewhere else."
Yeah, there's lots to watch. Go watch
Oh.
something else.
Love it.
She's an
Like-
artist.
Look
She's
at
a
that
serious
confidence,
boss.
though.
I was like, oh my God, this is.
It's wonderful.
Who are you? Where did you
Um,
come from? This is amazing, right? Like,
It's
so
awesome.
it's really great. So yeah.
Great.
It is nice to see you guys. What's
We
going
haven't
on?
seen you guys in ages.
I
Long
know.
time.
Since your Christmas open house, I think that you had us all drop in.
Yes.
I
yes.
remember that was a long time
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah.
It was.
I missed Jimmy on Clubhouse yesterday. I think you were trying to call me, and I just didn't. I couldn't get to my phone in time. So
Thanks
I
for
must
the
have,
invite.
I must have
Yeah.
missed you too.
I'm floundering around on it and going, oh, no, I don't want to go there. No, I don't want to talk. No.
Raise my hand. Put down my hand. Put down my hand.
Yeah, exactly.
Leave quietly.
I love the fact that you two actually embrace it though. I look at it and I thought, oh man, it's another platform. Then I'm gonna have to talk to people. Like, I don't want to talk
I
to
love
anybody
it.
right now.
And that's where my mind goes, Kitty, because I wonder and I look at it and go, okay, what is this? Is this like another radio type thing? Or is it a podcast
Yeah,
platform?
like, what is it?
Or is it something else completely different?
It's
Should I even be on there?
drop-in
at the
audio
age that
is
I
what
am,
they
you
call
know?
it.
So-
Yeah. They call it
Okay.
drop-in audio, right? So the idea is, you know, where you would like, if you think of it this way, when you go to a conference, the best parts of the conference are when you go to
Dinner.
the networking things, you get to read the badge, you know, and then you just like, there's no pretense. It's, hey, this is who I am. This is what I do. Do you match with me or not? Great. Have a drink, off you go. Or, hey, we match. Let's figure it out, right? So Clubhouse is like, it's like the after conference without the conference, right? It's kind of
It's
cool.
a really good way of describing it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would agree.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
Still like dinner.
So I like it. I'm a fan. Like, and I liked it so much that I switched to an iPhone. You know, to do this. So now I'm on all the time. Like, people ping me. It's actually hard to get work done, right? Because people ping me. I jump into conversations. I jump back out. But I really love it, right? Like, it's been really good. And then I figured out, I'm not usually like this, but I figured out, like, you just ask for things, right? So like on there, like I don't have my own socials. I have this Commerce Life socials on there. So I always tell them, I'm co-host on this Commerce Life. I'd love it if you just followed us, reshared us, did the Instagram thing. And you pick up followers like immediately. As soon as I get into a room, people immediately ping you and they jump on, and our followers on this Commerce Life go up.
Great.
So
Great.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Look at you.
Yeah. It's fun.
Joe Techie, he needs to work
we
more.
have
That's his
Jim and
problem.
Laurie Shopland on, which we're really excited about because we haven't seen you guys in a long time.
I know. How are you guys doing?
We're really good.
Good.
We're really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like life is good. I think I don't know. We're working together. We are not unhappy that we're working together, which is kind of awesome.
Yeah, we haven't killed each other yet. 3 years on a podcast, we haven't killed each other.
Yeah. The podcast is humming along. I think we're booked up now till almost the end of May.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going, right?
Yeah, everything's going,
like
and then go ahead.
Sounds too planned out for Kenny. Like end of May, like he knows what he's going to be doing. Like what's going on?
No, because Phil still managed that. He's trying to get me to put the calendar on the phone, but I don't know how to do that, and I just don't want another. There's too much stuff. Join this app thing. You go talk to people. Then I got calendars.
Yeah.
No, it's too much stuff.
But
I'm post COVID too. Like I got COVID brain still, so I can't think good. I
torture him
just
on
too much
like
thing.
Saturday morning. So like when I'm not working Saturday mornings, I'm thinking. Now I've been thinking about the podcast, and so he'll get messages from me at like 8 a.m. my time.
Yeah.
Like, I was thinking about, I'm going to do this. I'm going to get, and he's like, oh, what's going on here?
5 o'clock in the morning. Like I care. Really? This is what we need to discuss. Like right now.
You're looking at your tomato plants. So
I haven't done those yet. Actually, I got to do those pretty well. It's still early.
it is.
Can't do anything till the long weekend, right? So I got time.
Good man. Good man.
It's all good, man. It's all good. How are you guys?
Yeah. How are things?
We're good.
Like, what's going on?
Well, like everybody else, you get shut in, you're locked in, isolated. Fortunately, we love each other, and things have been going okay. But
And we haven't killed each other yet.
yeah.
I mean, after a year, I mean, it's pretty good odds that you're pretty safe.
Yeah.
Plus, you got other kids and things popping out all over.
Now. There have been times.
You've got
Jim
distractions
looks
though.
more cheerful there than Laurie does. I'm not sure.
Yeah, exactly.
We're empty nesters, so that's different, right? And then now we're expecting 2 grandkids.
I know.
So we got 2 of our kids are expecting.
So what do they do?
I'm sorry.
When?
When? I think you said what do they do? July and September. So
July and September. Oh, it's going to be nice then. It's going to be like all summer and then right into fall.
Yeah.
Christmas is going to be just awesome.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Wow.
Grandparents.
That's going to be cool, man.
Kind of crazy.
It's crazy shit. That's nuts, eh?
You guys are way too young to be grandparents.
Well, Jim looks like he could, not Laurie, but Jim definitely looks like he could be my grandfather.
That's the fun part of it is.
Come on, we mock him when he's not on the show. You can't do it right to the man's face.
That's more polite than doing it when he's not here.
You know that he's older than me.
Yes, he is. Yeah, I am the oldest one on the podcast
6
right
weeks,
now.
I think, or something.
Yeah, still older.
Yeah.
Yeah, it still counts.
There is someone who listens to this podcast who thinks Kenny's 60.
Whoa.
All I'm gonna say.
That hurt though.
Can't say their name because they would
There was
die.
also somebody who thought it looked like George Clooney, so what the hell, right? So I'll take that one too.
Same person.
I'll be a 60-year-old George Clooney any day.
No kidding. Awesome.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's good. That's good.
People are full of it.
You guys aren't putting this on YouTube, are you? Are you doing that now or
No,
not?
no.
No, nobody wants to
Only
see
audio.
us. Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, seriously, look at it. Really?
No.
No. I'm surprised people listen to us. Let's start looking at us. That'll end everything. The party will be over.
So tell us about you guys. What are you guys doing now?
Yeah, what's going on?
Super fun. There's not a day that I don't say that I don't think of you, Kenny, when I was coaching you, and you're like, I'm not seeing any fun in this. I'm not sure where the fun's coming from, but it's been fun. I think, well, gosh, it's been a while, right? So catching up, full to the hilt with coaching and Joy Club. So I've branched out doing that entirely on my own, which is so good. Just helping hundreds of women right now. So
how cool is that, eh?
And it has its own heartbeat. Like that's the best way I can describe it. The women inside of it are the ambassadors for it, right? Of just having continued success. And then we actually branched another program inside of it, birthed it, because they're all of a sudden going, okay, now that I've lost the weight, I want to apply these coaching tools to more parts of my life. So it's just like, okay, here we go.
So like you're full tilt, eh? Like you're on.
And it's so fun because I know when one of the podcasts that we were talking about and revenue, and I was kind of like, for who I serve, I should be at kind of thing. And it made me think of you guys. And now it's like, I think I've quadrupled that of, right? Like, it's just like, it's finally, I'm stepping into it and getting confident and comfortable, I think, with receiving. I think that's been my biggest struggle is I was okay with always giving it, but charging and receiving it was where I was blocked. So
weird.
So that's me.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
It's been so great watching the transformation for Laurie's business because it's been so interesting seeing her connecting with her clients or customers, however you want to put them. But what are they looking for? What are their needs and that sort of thing, right? And when Joy Club started out, it was I want to lose weight, right? It's a monthly membership program for women to lose weight. And when you get into it, we actually have a tagline where we say, well, you come for the weight loss, but you actually stay for the woman because it's such this transition and transformation that occurs throughout it, where there's so many different things that go on. And from coaching, it just draws that out of the members, those that are in it. And it's amazing to watch the transformation.
You know how many of the women though are asking, will you please do a Joy Club for men? Because all of a sudden their husbands are saying, what's happened? Like, you're all of a sudden losing the weight.
That makes total sense though.
Joyful,
that makes total sense.
And so that's been super fun. I'm like, I'm not there. But we have talked about having Jim come on and doing sort of just a night of even couples. So husbands can kind of see. And
it's not a bad idea, right?
Yeah.
So how are you doing it, Laura? It's all like still word of mouth? Or are you out there?
I'm not out there yet. So Kenny or Phil, stay tuned because I'm still wanting to kind of, this has all just been organic. And
isn't that crazy?
But you're pretty out there. I see your stuff. It's amazing. It's your socials are.
The socials are all cool.
Yeah.
It's time for me to hire, I think, because I'm just now at that breadth of fullness, right? Of just knowing my capacity to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to take a look at the website just to kind of tighten that up. I'm just kind of doing that. But I'm ready. Like it's like, okay, here we go. Here we go.
Wow.
But I had to do my own work to get there.
Yeah.
Right.
Again, like, when we would talk about coaching is like all the work that I'm helping my clients with, I'm just 30 seconds ahead. So just that there's this new identity of Laurie Shopland being out of having this business that's going to be $1 million. Like, I know this, like, it's just going to fly and it already is. And it's like, oh, wait a minute. My identity has to catch up to that.
Yeah.
And I have to believe that I can be that person before I'm ready to take off the veil, kind of thing. And I'm there. Yeah. So, yeah.
You
Look
probably
at you.
have
That's
to
awesome.
grow all that authority marketing stuff too, right? Like, gonna get, like you're ahead now, and then you probably need to then ahead is like 30 seconds ahead is great, but you almost need to like blow up your authority a little bit more. I think that's, that's what it feels like you're almost at, right? Is that point. Like that's how the big guys do it, right? Like the the Jack Canfields of the world, like these
Yeah.
guys, like that's what they do, right? Is they kind of like, I would argue they're not that much smarter, but you know what I mean? But they do, they kind of like, they just figure out how to blow them up and then land these great big credentials out there, and that makes everything, you know, kind of tick a little bit more even. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, are you taking new clients? 'Cause
He's
seriously.
got his daughter today. He doesn't have time. So
That's
Yeah, you don't want me, you need my
get the kids involved.
yeah.
Well, that's, you know, when we talk about how to build it out, the vision is like, that's what excites me as of having it as something. I mean, it's Jim and I working on it anyhow. And then he went off and did his own coaching thing. And now he's too busy to help me, which is really kind of pissing me off. But anyhow, that's another side. So it does. But I see the being able to pull our kids in to be able to do some of this stuff. My son-in-law being a you know, CFO, like, oh my God, I want you in my business. I don't want
Absolutely.
you for somebody else. And my son, who's like so adapt to like all of this other stuff, is like, no, Josh, I want you in this. Like, I see that of being able to build that out that way. So that's super fun.
It should be kind of cool too, right? If you can get the fam involved, why not?
Yeah.
Wow.
yeah.
I think one of the most impactful times that when it really hit home for me was when she had one of her clients willing to like tell her story about her weight loss and her journey and stuff. And it was at that time by far the most successful thing that she had posted up and put on YouTube and that sort of stuff. And it was just like, wow, when you saw the customer testimonials and you saw the success and how people connected with that, as much as Laurie can talk about, here's the system, this is what you do, this is how you lose the weight, that sort of stuff. When it came back to here's somebody actually that did it and had success and was willing to share and stuff, that was
Makes a huge
powerful.
difference.
Yeah.
You know, you haven't been on in quite a while, Laurie. Do you want to maybe let people know exactly what you're doing? I mean, I know what you're doing. Phil obviously does. Well, hopefully Jimmy knows, right? I mean, do you want to give people an idea, a more clear idea of what you're doing? Because I know we're talking around it.
Yeah, sure.
But
It's a completely different way to, you know, to look at weight loss, to be able to come at it from the inside out versus, you know, worrying about what we eat. We actually figure out why we're eating, and we kind of figure out the emotional part of it, all of the mindset behind of it. And from there, they start to get control of something they always thought was controlling them, and depending on willpower and holding their breath, right? Or go hide the cookies instead. And, you know, it's not the restriction. It's not the restrictive deprivation of a diet. And it's a community. And I think that that's what's different is when women can because for my own personal experience, weight loss was really embarrassing. And because if I had to get to that place of, I had to admit that I wanted to lose weight. And then it was something that I had to do alone. Nobody else could do it for me. And so the community-based part of it, of having weekly coaching calls where women can come together and they are amongst friends, and it's all across Canada, it's into Europe. It's like, there are women there that identify of all ages, but they know, oh my God, oh, okay, I do that too. And, oh, I'm not alone. And so just figuring out, and then having the women have the successes in the program that are willing to share, and then showing that it's not a straight line trajectory. We're not setting you up so that you never fail. We're setting you up so you never quit on yourself, because there's going to be the failures. And how do we pick yourself up, right? So
is it all in group setting, or is there all, like, let's say, because I'm assuming there's some people that, you know, I mean, it's tough to, you don't necessarily want to go in a group right away. I mean, I'm sure there's some people you got to get them warmed up and, you know.
Yeah. So I absolutely do one-on-one right now. Well, I'm full, but have a wait list for one-on-one clients to come through, and then working one-on-one. That's the accelerated program, right? Because I can get right in there and show them their brain and really catch the consistent thoughts that are taking them down the rabbit hole.
Right.
And, you know, it's like anything for coaching is, a coach is basically helping you see your blind spots. I'm a coach and I get coached, right? Because I can't see what I'm not being able to differentiate between a circumstance and the thought.
Right.
So that in a one-on-one intimate setting, that is super powerful, and they have accelerated success doing that. But for some, it's not affordable for them to be able to do that. And my time is limited that way. So everything, they get me all in the group setting as well. And we're starting to have mentor programs because the
Right.
women inside it that are losing the 60 pounds are saying, hey, I'll help you out here. Sure, I'll tell you what I did. So they're kind of having some offline chats that way too, which is
Well, I'm assuming there's also a way to now get some. I mean, well, somebody, the success stories are motivated to help out. Obviously, that's that signs up to the nice little world of Laurie.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow, that's awesome.
From an evolution perspective, it's interesting. We did some like corporate planning. We're a family business, right? So husband and wife team. We did some corporate planning at the end of 2019. We went away. We said we're going to plan out 2020.
Do you remember when we could travel?
Yeah, exactly. We went away.
No.
We were to Hawaii. I think
No.
we didn't even talk to these guys
Yes,
at
we
that
did,
time.
yes.
I think.
Yeah,
Right?
I
So
think
we
you did.
planned out 2020. We said this is what we're going to do. And Laurie at the time in the fall had done a group. So I think it was 6 women and had done what she called a stop overeating program. It was really successful from the feedback and stuff she got. And she had planted in her head she wanted to have a membership site. She wanted to do something to do with
Yeah, I
membership.
remember.
I remember
So
that.
at the beginning of, or at this time when we did the planning, we said, well, we'll look at it halfway through, maybe September 2020 or something like that, right? But mostly she was one-on-one and then a little bit of group that she was doing. Well, COVID hit, right? And so we're looking at March, and all of a sudden we're going, well, that's going to take away some of the other things. My parts of my business were like we're kind of closing down and that sort of thing, right? So it was like, I got a bunch of time. Let's do that now. And so we put it together to start for June 1st, went out and built a membership site and a website and put it all together. And she's been busting her tail ever since, just getting weekly content in there, weekly phone calls. She does 2 or 3 calls with the women and building it up. So it's been a really fantastic journey that way. So cool to see. So
That's awesome. Can you tell us like how many people are sort of in the program right now, or is that
we're upwards of 100 in the program, and then I think I've got 17 one-on-ones. So
oh shit, so it's 100 and then the one-on-ones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
that's
You
amazing.
sleep?
Well, so I've hired coaches, right, to help me now strategize of where I want to be, because I recognize right now having 2 grandbabies coming, like where.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you got other things coming pretty quick. You don't want to be doing this 80 hours a week, eh?
Yeah, so
I don't know what Junior beside you's doing, but maybe you can, get him to help out a little bit because he says he's busy. I don't know what the hell he's doing because I haven't heard anything yet. Everything he talks about is busy. All seems to be about you. So I don't know what the hell Jim's doing.
hey, I'm doing the website.
I'm just saying. I'm just hearing the story. All I hear is all Laurie, and I'm busy. And I'm thinking, what are you doing?
That's the story of my life, though, Kenny. You know that.
That's
Anywhere
true.
I go, it's like, oh, I'm Laurie's husband.
But no.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
No,
Yeah,
which is a
so-
good segue actually, because we've always talked about, and I mean, that's how I think all the 4 of us first met, was when Jim and I were starting to do some stuff after I
Right.
left
Yeah.
my corporate job.
Mhm.
And so Jim's had this journey of doing, and it's just like either you make lemonade or lemon, whatever.
Whatever it
that's-
is, whatever the
right?
expression is, that one.
And when COVID hit, it was that perfect time
Yeah.
for him to pour into helping with his
Yeah.
skills to help us build out the membership.
Yeah.
And the website and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
And then from there, it was so interesting to see him see with his own clients, it all changed and shifted. And all of a sudden it's like,
That's awesome.
This coaching is really like where I'm
Yeah.
taking clients. So now he's doing more coaching, which is so fun to now have. So our kids are like, holy crap, we have 2 parents, or both parents.
That's a little much, eh? Like 2, I don't know, man. I'd be on the kids think, okay, one of them's got to do something else. We can't be coached like all over the place.
No, it's super fun. Although we've gotten really good at not coaching each other at all.
No kid, like all kidding aside, that's a serious comment. Like that's a serious.
Well, I think you'd have to, because
I
otherwise
think
you start
the house
analyzing
gets
each
a
other.
whole
That's
lot
going to be
smaller
dangerous.
if you're coaching each
Yeah,
other.
that's
yeah.
not safe. That's
Holy
not.
crap.
It came up, and one of the things we found in working together was that we both did a course where we learned what our strengths are and stuff, right? And what we find, or what we learn as coaches, is that in times of stress, we tend to go to where our strengths are more, right?
Yeah,
That's our
makes
comfort
sense.
zone. That's our area of comfort.
Sure.
And for me, I shut down, right? I'm an introvert.
Right.
I'm a control person. I don't want to talk. I'll go out in the garden. I'll get out of the house, whatever that sort of
Right.
thing. She wants to talk, or talk all the time, right? And it's like, okay, when we understood that we were different in that way, okay, now we can actually say it. Listen, it's not a coachable moment right now. All right, let's do it. We need some time apart.
Right.
Forget it, right? We'll come back and talk again after dinner or whatever it is. So yeah, so true.
Thank God for the
Wow.
garden.
Yeah, no joke.
Garden, that's all I have to say.
That's when you need a yard.
So
Yeah.
it's a funny thing because I'm like that too. So when I get frustrated or I'm working through a problem, right? I've talked about it on the show. Is I'm thinking about stuff. I got to go out and do something. I'll go hit some balls at the range or whatever. And when we were younger, I would go out and build something.
Yeah.
And so sometimes Kathy would come out and go, "Is everything okay? You're building."
Yeah.
You know, and then I'd have to clarify, like, I'm building something we need. I'm
Mm.
just building and you need to go away right now. Like, so I don't, this is great furniture, but what's happening here? Like, is this ottoman because you're angry or because you're
Well, if that's a natural place you go, what else are you gonna assume?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's natural.
And we really learned that as our kids were getting older and getting into more serious relationships, that we had to have honest conversations with them about, listen, our marriage is wonderful and everything like that, but it hasn't always been that way. There's
ups and downs.
Work at it.
There's ups and
Sure.
downs to it. And even, you know what, we lived in basement suites. We lived in small 1-bedroom apartments. We didn't have the house that we're in right now at the very beginning. And we need to have those honest conversations with the kids about it. And that helped us to be honest in that part of our relationship as well. So so
Cool.
true.
So let me ask you. So Jimmy, what are you doing then? Like,
Yeah,
what's
what are you
going
doing?
on?
Please tell them
Ugh.
you're not just doing my
I'm waiting
stuff.
for her to let me retire.
That
is
doesn't
not
sound
that
like.
plan.
Yeah, it's
That's
not going to
a
happen
great
anytime
plan.
soon.
That's
Yeah,
okay.
so whatever. Let that one go.
So COVID, as somebody said to me, COVID is a catalyst, right? Has been a catalyst for a lot of people. And when COVID hit a year ago, as a broker, and that's what I've been on, I was thinking back to one of the first couple of times that I was on the podcast with you guys. Some of our clients, their business took off, and some of our clients like tanked, right? Depending on what was going on in retail. One aloe product that they couldn't keep it in stock, and I got others that they were kicked off the shelf because the retailers wanted essential goods all over the place, right?
You need the space.
But what I found is either way, the businesses had to make some significant adjustments to what was going on, whether they had to figure out their supply chains, their raw materials, their productions, or they had to figure out what they were going to do to get by, right? Their finances and that sort of stuff. And I just found that in that area, I really liked working with them and enjoyed that part of the bit. And I always did, you know, sales was never like, it isn't always a strong suit and stuff. Building relationships is where I much prefer to be and stuff. Mm-hmm. And so I thought, you know, this coaching thing, seeing Laurie do it and having that impact and stuff.
Getting coached by Laurie.
Yeah. And it actually, all kidding aside, it actually started with helping out one of her colleagues set up what I had done for Laurie. So I was doing some online business management. I helped her set up her site, did some social media, and again, I could do that. That was something that I enjoyed doing. It was like working with my hands type of skill set. But I really found that I drifted into coaching, and I moved into coaching her, which was really interesting, coaching a coach. And she wrote a really great testimonial saying, "This is what you helped me do." And it kind of got me to look at that in a more serious way and decide I'm going to get certified and go full bore in this. And
so that's what you're doing now. Are you doing much of the old school
I'm doing
stuff?
Some retail. I'd sort of set a goal of being out of retail by June and then some by September because of, you know how retail works is long lead times and things, right? So the work I did back in the fall and the spring of this year, I won't get paid until, you know, the summer and fall of this year. So, you know, I'm going to hang on to some of those things for commission reasons and that sort of stuff. But yeah, pretty much I've only got a couple of small retail ones right now. And I've moved strictly into coaching and business coaching now. So
that's awesome, man.
Dr.
Really
Shoplin and Dr. Shoplin. This is amazing.
Well, and what's super fun is we see a need for us to blend and actually do something with husband and wife entrepreneurs. Because
there's enough of them.
We've lived it. We haven't killed each other. So
so it's doable. I mean, you can do it.
Yeah. So
Wow.
we're looking at the fall of just, and again, it's like, what would be fun? Like we're all about what, like when he steps into coaching, he comes off of a call and he's like, I don't even think I worked. Like and yet the coach I know you're just talking about had her biggest month ever because she claims like he just helped strategically help
Right.
me get my head on,
Right.
right? Do that. So when you're in that, like when the football players are saying, when I'm in the flow,
Right.
right? So that's what we know, but his is strategic and mine's mindset.
Right.
So to be able to come and then have the banter between husband and wife, I know that's.
Oh, yeah, it's so sellable. It's so easy because you know what, you can relate to it.
Yeah.
That's the difference. It's not a stretch.
If they're in that, it's kind of like Joy Club, like finding their own people, right?
Yeah.
So having couples that come and go, oh my God, I'm not alone. Like you're not the only one that wants to kill them. No,
Well, exactly.
Right. And how do you work through that? And what keeps coming to mind is you love your partner and you love your business, but how can you do it all together?
Right.
Right. Fluidly and maximize the revenue while you're doing it and have fun being able to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Wait, so can I just split? Because so Jimmy, you're getting into coaching and then you're gonna be doing business coaching, right? So you're gonna be helping so less of the broker hands-on,
not selling anymore,
walk you into a retailer, that sort of thing, right out of that into quite honestly some of the stuff we do, right, in terms of like, guys, how do you think about the business differently? How do you position, how do you manage people, like all those sort of things. So that's kind of what you're going to do. And then you guys are talking about putting it together now somehow as well, right? So you really got 3 products between the two of you.
Yeah.
Is like, that's amazing. It's really great.
You're going to be busy.
Well, and but here's the thing. The beautiful thing is when you have the vision and the coach, like the mindset to be able to, like, I'm working with my coach on a 3-year plan. I'm planning on working 3 days a week. Like I absolutely see the plan because I know the other days I want to be with my little monkeys, right? Like that's what we want to be doing. So building that out, that it's a business that we love, that's going to work for us, not that, is making us work. And right now there is nobody at home. There's nothing else really to do. So I'm loving putting the all
right.
Like
Yeah, but the difference is you're putting the time in, but you also know what the result's going to be. You're putting the time in now so that when first baby comes, that you can drop a bunch of it, because in theory by then it should be not autopilot, but it's going to run, right?
No, but you'll anticipate it. And
exactly. It's different.
Yeah.
It's different. Or you just make your schedule work around that, period.
It's so fun having a year. We're up to 11 months of having Joy Club
right.
running. And so it's on, it's got a program already that's already there, but then I come in with different themes each month. Well, like, I don't know about you, but I need to hear things a few times, right? So I've got now a whole year's worth of content that I'm just gonna, like, they're asking, can we get back to the basics again? I'm like, hell yeah, let's get back there, right?
Yeah, that's called teaching, Laurie. That's how education does it for like a billion years.
Exactly.
You take 20 years ago's lesson plan, you just modernize it a little, but you don't reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
Did you ever have those teachers that just crossed out the date and rewrote the date to the next year again? And
I don't want to. I got way too many teacher friends, and we get in these arguments already.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to start it up here.
Yeah, I hear.
You know what? It's going to be so tough. I said, why? Are you going to take last year's pictures, put them on the same wall, and just take the lesson plans, the same lesson plan? What changed? Unless the curriculum went through a massive change, it's the same plan. Come on.
Same kids.
Wow.
They might even have some of the same kids. I don't think they fail kids anymore, so maybe you don't anymore. In the old days, you could have had a lot of the same kids. Quite get it the first time.
Yeah,
wow, that's pretty impressive.
Super amazing. So I actually pulled up our episodes, and you guys are all over the place. But like the first episode we did with you, Jimmy, was February 6th, 2018.
No way.
I think Jimmy might have been our first guest or very close to our first guest.
Episode number 7.
Wow.
So I think you might have been our first guest because I think someone suggested, you should have a guest on. And we thought,
you were our guest twice because I lost our first.
That's right.
I remember. That's right.
Yeah, I remember that.
That's
and then
wild.
And then Laurie took over.
Then Laurie comes in a couple of times. But then July 27th, 2020, Laurie says, I'm Wonder Woman. I have superpowers, and I'm going to go do this thing. And that was July 2020.
Right on.
Really?
It's not even a year, and you've already killed it.
It's insane. Look at you two, like 3 years, and
Wow.
Yeah.
you don't look anything like you did 3 years ago, like in terms of what you do professionally, and it's amazing.
And that's, I always talk about sort of what your mission is in life. And we did our own kind of strategic planning for the two of us.
Yeah.
And the mission is really to be an example of what's possible. And,
Yeah.
to hear my career and for both of us, as the same with you guys, right? Like, I think that's why you have the following, is like, really, this can happen. And even to old farts like us.
Yeah.
Well, that's the beauty of this right now. And I think that's where we've been gravitating on the podcast, is getting more old farts like us on, to show people that, you know what, at 50, you don't need to coast to the end. At 50, you can actually start again.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need to coast. You can just
listen to
pick
the
it up and
podcast,
start.
the one you had on with Trevor Baker, and my heart hurt, man. Right. And you could just see that.
Absolutely. You could see that
age.
because that's all our friends, Jim.
Yeah.
It's our age.
Exactly.
Like, this is the age that's getting, chopped, and you're thinking, man, you should have probably been a little more, organized or saw this coming, et cetera, right? And not rely on that I have no choice. When, yes, you had, ultimately, it was your choice all the way through. You just chose not to look at it that way.
I'll put a plug.
Someone
out
told me
there.
that once.
If anyone's interested in coaching, reach out, man, because the experience and what they're able to bring. Think about some of the startups and the younger company. As much as the age, the demographic wants to be able to do things in a different way, technology-wise or whatever. There are certain fundamentals of business, certain fundamentals of running companies and things like that are desperately, desperately needed.
Yeah.
And,
right.
a number of times people will reach out to me and say, you need to talk to this company because they need an adult in the room. Mm-hmm. They need someone there. And what I find so interesting about coaching is that I'm not doing the work, right? I'm not going to go in there as a consultant and have to do a bunch of work for you. What I really want to do is I want to move you through the channels and through the chain so that you understand what action you need to be taking yourself, right? Be aware of it, be aware of what you need to do and discover that. And so that's where I find the power of coaching is, and the ability to be able to do that for businesses, and particularly young businesses. That's sort of, I'm looking at the niches that I have in the natural product industry and the newer businesses and newer companies that way. But at the same time, there's a tremendous need out there. And that age group, our age group, fits well for that to be.
I think it does too. We've got 30 years experience in most cases within industries. I mean, why wouldn't you want to tap into
some
that?
economic cycles you've been through, right?
Sure.
Some leadership challenges, leadership changes you've been through.
Absolutely.
Stuff, right?
I mean, you do. Experience does count. I mean, 30 years ago, we would have laughed at this. Because that's what old people always say, that experience counts. Then you get to that age, you're thinking, no, it actually does. Yeah. Like, you can actually learn a few things from us. I mean, I'm not that we're ancient, but you do get to that point.
The part that I have worried about for the I know those people that are still in the corporate life are the managers and the VPs and others that are coming to them saying, we got to make these numbers up. We're looking at numbers last year. We got to make, last year we were down. And I hated those types of discussions because they strictly looked at the numbers and they said, we got to be up 5%. We got to figure out how we're going to make 5%. Well, we're not doing anything different. We haven't done anything different.
Yeah, you're going to do it because you just wished it.
Exactly.
The plan is even worse, probably, Jimmy, than last year. Thinking,
totally.
How are you going to do this?
Yeah, completely.
Just wish it. Come on.
Yeah.
I just, you know what? You couldn't drag. I don't think you could drag the four of us back into corporate life ever. I don't. There's no appeal to it. Zero.
Yeah.
It's much more fun to talk to people and how to help.
If I did, it was a long time ago. I remember I was in at the, I don't even know. It was actually even recently, of getting our eyes done. And the optometrist had asked, she says, oh, do you guys have coverage, right? Do you have a company that pays for this or whatever? And I said, oh, no. She goes, okay, well, I'll give you the no-name brand, whatever, it's cheaper. And she said, oh, that kind of sucks though, that you don't have a coverage. I'm like, no, I will pay whatever the hell I have to pay for prescriptions to be my own boss and to make as much money as I want.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
And why would you think that would motivate? I mean, so I get eye coverage. $200 every 2 years.
Glasses? I don't think so.
But it's just so funny.
But that's how people work, Laurie.
Security, right? For that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
People give their left arm for $200 every 2 years. $200 to buy half a lens. Talking, who cares? Keep it.
And I will say, from the coaching perspective, one of the biggest things, I'm sure you guys saw this too, is for my mindset to move from a wage employment to that self-employment to the entrepreneur, and understanding what that means for cash flow. How does that come in and that sort of stuff, right? That's a really challenging thing to get, particularly when you've done it for 25, 30 years, right?
It's brutally hard. You
Yeah.
get paychecks every 2 weeks, and all of a sudden you don't necessarily
Yeah.
get paychecks every 2 weeks. Or you're thinking, wow, this is a
And you're doing more work
Bizarre.
when you're working for yourself and not getting that paycheck right away than when you were sitting behind a desk
Yeah.
not doing anything and you still got the paycheck. It's
well,
like,
exactly. It's a whole different world, and you could get your glasses for the
I
$200.
could have got my glasses
Yeah.
and massages and all of that lovely stuff.
Yeah,
So,
3 times a year, whatever the hell they gave you. Like, wow, that's an incentive to be locked into that.
I was telling Jimmy this story the other day when we were chatting because I was telling him about that mindset shift from salary to getting gigs, and recently I shifted up my portfolio, dropped a client that really weren't compatible anymore, and I was telling Kathy, my wife, about it, right? And Kathy's a VP finance, right? So she's kind of like, everything's kind of in order. And I said to her, okay, so this one's got to go. She goes, okay, well, what are you going to do? And I said, well, they're kind of like significant in my, I only have 3 clients, right? So I'm going to drop one of them. I'm going to have to go add another one. It's okay. Don't worry about it. I got this. And she kind of like, wait, what do you mean? What do you mean you got this? Like, what does that mean? I go, I got this. I've been talking to this person. I think, I'm going to go talk to these 2 because I'm pretty sure one of these guys also wants to come on board, but, they've been waiting around and not sure. And I wasn't sure. So, I'm like, don't worry about it. I got it. Right. And then I said to her the next day, I said, okay, so it's done. And she goes, what's done? That client, we're done. We're sunsetting a couple of weeks from now. We're done. And she's like, oh, okay. Now what? And I was like, I told you I got this. Like this one or this one. She's like, what? How? but it's kind of that mindset, right? Because like when you're in it, you really do. You can visualize, like, I see how the opportunity comes together. It's not always 100%, but I understand how this works. I'm going to figure it out, right?
mm.
But when you get a paycheck, it's like it's a solid thing, right? Like so, it is. I can see where the anxiety comes in for sure, right?
Totally.
And, for myself, again, like I just find it just so funny that being a coach, that my best client is me in my own brain, but the scarcity mindset, right? Of just, and we talked about this before, of just picking up on themes of that. But until you're ready to kind of go, no, wait a minute, this can be over here where there is abundance available to us. But when we focus in, and again, we know anything we put in our brain, that's the direction our brain's going to go. So when I kept telling myself there aren't any clients and it's not going to happen, that was the result that we're creating, right? So, but it's such a practice behavior, and it makes so much sense from what we understand in the brain. So when we start to open up of having that, so you already just having that natural instinct, oh no, I got this. Like if this guy doesn't do it, this guy is. Like it's out there, it's happening. You're on the other side of that road, and it's
You're not trained that way. When you get into corporate or paycheck,
No.
why do they give you all that other
Yeah.
stuff? You know why they give you that other stuff? Because they're telling you basically, listen, you shouldn't leave.
Mm-hmm.
Very scary out there. You don't get all these extra things. This is pretty important stuff to hang on to. And then when you sit down and do the math, you're thinking, I'm going to stay in this miserable job because I got about $2,500 worth of benefits.
Yeah.
Wow. Really?
Yeah.
That's because that's really what it's worth most times.
Yeah.
Like really, really go to the dentist, get your teeth cleaned. It's not that catastrophic.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't even know what it is, $100. Something like that, whatever. And who looks?
Yeah.
My belief, I remember hearing when I was going through certification, that it is a vision that, and you can imagine, everyone has a dentist in their Rolodex, like a massage therapist that you
Sure.
There will be everyone having a coach of some regard for us.
Yeah, some sort of mentor, somebody they call and just, whatever help they need, whatever.
And so, like, even for your audience, to Jim's point, like the more people that can actually get out to coach, to go share their expertise, to go share their perspective of things, like that excites me, right? To be able to know that there's more people out there. So
There's tons.
The other part I find that's interesting to that is there are, there's so many solopreneurs, digital or contract workers that different ways you want to put that. They need someone to be able to talk to, right? They need someone
Sure.
to be able to connect with, and
Yeah.
and I really advise client, or you're going to pick up a new client, you want somebody to talk to, give me a call, let's talk, right? And be able to be in that role of just putting them in a position that they can take the action that they want to, because as you get, it's lonely as you kind of become more of a leader, right?
It's lonely at the top, man. It is
lonely.
There's not a lot of people to talk to, and I get it.
And so just to be able to have that person to be able to do that. And if there's some things that you may be stuck on, right? I'm a sports guy, so I love the sports analogies. And you think about a coach isn't the best player, right? Or wasn't the best player, but they're most effective when they can bring the people together, right?
Exactly.
To be able to be an effective team or to achieve the goal.
Some of them weren't even players, Jimmy. Some didn't play very well at all.
Sure, exactly.
Right? But they just knew how to talk, and they knew how to put people in the right places.
Yeah.
Right? It's hard though. Like when you're in the like when you're sort of stuck in that cog, it's hard, right? Because I mean, we all said it. I mean, it wasn't easy for me to quit after all those years, right? It's not easy for you to change things. I mean, Phil seems to change things like, I don't know, like socks, but that's a whole different body. That's not. That's just because he's a little younger. That younger age group just does shit like this. But it's hard to do it. It's not just easy to say, you're going to pack it in and sit there, and then you're waiting, thinking, "Wow, okay." But paychecks, what are those? Are they coming anymore, or what's going on?
I guess I should clarify. Like, I don't think it's easy to quit. I think the part that has motivated me for a long time and still does, right, is I've just learned to embrace it positively now. Is I grew up watching, like my dad was one of these, right? My dad, hit his late 50s, he was an engineer, worked at an oil company, but really, really, really scared to lose his job, right? Because he was worried that, you hit that kind of like 50, 55 range, and all of a sudden you just like, you realize I haven't, I think these are our listeners too, right? Is that you haven't added new skills, and then you realize like, holy shit, I don't actually know if I could do all the jobs even in the company I'm in now. So I've got to figure out how to insulate my spot so I can leg out, but like for my dad, that was probably the hardest 7 years of his life, right? Is like constantly trying to figure out how to protect his job.
You're just trying to get to the end.
Yeah.
That's what you're trying to do.
All these key account managers that I grew up, like coming out through the ranks, and you're watching these guys and you're going, I know exactly, like I see all the signs of what you're doing. And I always said to Kathy, like, I'm not going to be that guy. Like, I don't care. Like I'm going to get out before that ever happens to me. I just don't want to wake up one day and realize like, I have no skills. Like, what am I going to do now? Right. Like, I don't,
because your whole thing is just, Phil, was just to hang on.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and as in our industries, that 50 to 55 in corporate, 53 especially, that's the age where if you can just sneak past 53, 54, and then kind of hide and don't be an idiot, like you can coast to 60.
Don't be too famous. Don't win any awards. Don't
exactly. Just stay quiet.
And
don't be the last guy in the race, but don't be the first.
Yeah.
You can kind of get there, but.
I remember seeing my dad getting the golden handshake. He'd been with his career, very prestigious career, 38 years with an organization, which moved our family across Canada, like probably like more than once. So everything was this company, and at 38 years, golden handshake. And I witnessed him almost dying, just
for sure,
shock of it. That I remember that seed was planted going, I never want to be in that position ever. But I literally, he was telling us, and he started to choke on dinner and literally my sister, who's very petite, had to stand on a chair and like Heimlich remover. So I literally was like, oh my God, my dad's going to die while he's telling us like he's retiring.
2/3 of his life. Think of it. Cause that's probably what he was at that time, probably close to 60, 2/3 of his life. And what did you get for it?
Yeah. A lovely gold watch and a little bit of a party. Yeah.
You know, I mean, and again, we're not owed anything, right? And I think sometimes that's the other part we got to realize is that, you know, you got to create your own path, right? So
I don't want to slam corporate too much. I mean, there's benefits to it, and
oh,
I know what
100%.
I am today to learning,
Yes.
and
So do I.
there's some great
Yeah.
companies I work for and great
Absolutely.
managers,
as well.
supervisors, and that sort of
Yeah.
thing, right? But I think the part that I find is much like anybody making a decision, you get stuck on certain things, right? So whether that's looking at the end, whether that's I have a magic number, I want to reach a certain number,
Right.
or whatever those things are, and I think when we lead our entrepreneurial life, we realize that we know how to deal with change way better every day, right? We understand it much more, and we understand that mindset. In a corporate life, you don't deal with that as much, right?
You're shielded from it because there's other things going on, right?
Yeah, but once
But again,
you do,
if that's your choice though, if you really want to do that and you're happy, like I would never tell if someone said to me, I love being in corporate, well, awesome, good for you. That's
More power to you.
wow. I mean, if you're happy, I mean, what else do you want? I
Yeah.
mean, you could do anything as long as you're happy. I
some
don't
people
care.
are extremely effective in it, right? Very good at raising mentoring people and raising
awesome.
leaders up and stuff like that, right? And
yeah,
and it was, I was nervous. I was more concerned about having a heart attack, right? You know, just that lifestyle.
Yeah.
So,
Anxiety though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you anticipate the two of you, like the Shoplands together? Because I think that like at this age, like all sorts of things change, right? Your careers change. Like if I just look at like Kenny and Amelia and then me and Kathy, right? We go from, you know, full corporate, you know, kind of jobs, like steady paychecks all the way through. One makes a break, you know, for whatever reason, right? Golden handshake, you know, quit, you know, all those sort of things. The balance in the household changes. And then like I find myself on the other foot, and I love it, but Kathy actually has a hard time with it, right? Because she's a VP finance now, runs a fairly big group. She's doing, you know, what I was doing before, right? Where, you know, like, you know, like you spend time together, you come home, you work a full day, you come home, you know, kind of spend family time. And then when everybody's down, I'd get back on, you know,
right.
you know, do work, right? And she finds herself doing that now. And I said to her, look, it's your time. Like I'm home. I've got a really balanced lifestyle. I'm almost doing my 38 hours a week, not quite. You know, I was good for a while. Anyway, but you know, and then but the household changes, right? And then we change, right? And I found myself saying to her, listen, it's okay. Go do your thing. Like I'm okay. And she had trouble telling me. She said, no, it's not about you. I really appreciate it. I see that you know, you're doing all the meals and everything, and you know, the kids are great, but I don't like it because I'm not around the kids. I'm not doing, do you know, like, do you anticipate that you guys are going to have to cover some of that stuff, or is that out of your
I think we already have, because when
sorry, you mean cover it within what we would do with other?
like between the two of you, do you know what I mean? Like, because it is something that I see it's not enough, right? Like if I were to take Kathy and I, for Kathy to get coaching and then me to get coaching separately, it might not work, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like in a lot of ways, because the dynamic is together, right? Like, you know, we're a team, right?
Mm-hmm.
And but the team has changed, right? Like we have different superpowers than we had before, right? Like all of these things, you know.
And I think when we're building out the content for what we're thinking of providing, the most impactful, because Jim and I had been working together with the Natural Product Academy before we did through another organization. We at different times did the strength kind of based testing. And it wasn't until after he did his, I'd done mine a number of years before, and we sat down and reviewed them. It was a light bulb moment when I was sitting and went, oh, that's why you asked so many questions. Oh my God, right? Like I just thought you were doing it to bug me. And so from a partnership as husband and wife and then business partners, knowing why he was doing the decisions he was doing and what he was doing. So for him now to go clean the kitchen when I haven't yet done it, because I've had another call or something like that, I used to think, like, I would make up the story in my head of going, oh, okay, he thinks I'm a lazy ass and and he's getting in there. No,
Yeah.
I now know that he is a doer and he likes to do things and has the time to do it. So it's been so helpful for us, our relationship, our businesses, and our business together to be able to go, okay, this is where you fly, this is where I fly, and being okay with where it lands in between.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so
Right.
doing that, I think, is probably the catalyst for why we want to do something with couples, because that, to me, just being able to let him be him and owning that and being okay with it, and me being me,
Right.
it really, now
think
there
it's
is a
huge.
flow.
It's
Really, I
good.
think
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty
It
cool.
is really about understanding each other's strengths versus having roles, right? Because there's people always like blue job, pink jobs, right? You know, and the roles that they are and that sort of stuff. And when you start to understand us working together as a team, as a couple, we do that naturally for many things in life, but we don't necessarily always think about that when it gets into business or other things, right?
Yeah.
And so all of a sudden in that, it's like, no, you're the one that's supposed to have the suitcase or the briefcase and go out and do things, right?
Right.
I'm supposed to stay home. But then no, then that gets switched around and other things income comes into play. Who makes more income, less income,
Right.
all these other things, right?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of different things that kind of come up where, you know, when you start to look at maybe how you're raised or even what your thoughts were for what you're doing as a couple, when you start to look at things a little bit differently and understand each other's strengths and how you can be more powerful as a couple, that's really, I think, where we're wanting to get to in that perspective, and saying, listen, this isn't only about how you work on your business. It's about what you do in your relationship. It's about how you are with your family. And I know, I'm sure you're seeing it too, Kenny. The number of couples we see that are getting to this age group, getting into their 25, 30 years of marriage, and they're going, I don't know if I like the person across the kitchen from me. And you know, that they were there for the kids. They were there for other things.
Mhm.
Man, I say explore it. There's so much richness out there now, so much opportunity for you now. And dive into that. Get into that as a couple.
As a couple. Yeah, that was the point.
Whoa.
Yeah, that was the
My
point.
apologies. Yes, dive into it as a couple. There's so much goodness, so much opportunity to be able to do that now.
Yeah.
And if you don't start to explore those things, you're not the same people you were when you first got married. And you need to understand that there are changes and other things that go on. So how important?
Yeah, it gets so complicated, right? I mean, we've got a set of friends where, you know, one really does want to make a break from the job that they're doing, but the other can't see it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the conversation, it's a weird dynamic, right? And we've had to, you know, kind of let them go their route, right? But you know, like when they, you know, because the one spouse said to me, why did you do this? Like, and just wouldn't let go. So we spent like a whole evening. They were over. This is pre-COVID. We had a whole evening where just like, okay, so ask me what you want to ask me, right? Like, I'll tell you everything. We're close enough. I'll show you whatever you want me to show you. But the spouse was like, I don't understand. Like, you have a great paying job. Why would you leave that? Like, all our books are, you know, like our books are built this way. You know, we have a plan. And the other spouse was like, I know we have a plan, but look, I could make it. Look, he can make it. I could make it. Like, why can't we do that? Right. Like, and you're kind of going, oh, you guys need to do
You know, that is the norm though. Like, I truly believe
you have some work to do before you get here, you know,
right.
like it's,
but this isn't normal. Like, I think that the other side is sort of the normal. Like, you just, you get into these roles and you know what, it's hard. Like, if you've got one who's really security based and all that, I'm sorry, that to change that mindset is scary, because that's probably how they were raised. That's what they're used to.
Mm-hmm.
Happiness is important, but not as important as
security.
The paycheck that will buy happiness later. So you're miserable today. I mean, it's not the end of the world. That's the mentality, right? You just suffer through it. It's only 10 more years, and then it's all great. You're thinking, oh, man, I don't want to go 10 more years.
Oh, that's terrible. Yeah.
The conversation, it being that Jim just holding the space for me and just saying, do you believe in yourself enough? Like he gave that to me
Yeah.
so that I knew I wasn't looking to him for his approval to do it, because he just needed to know, if you believe you can do this, then fly and we'll figure it out, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think where it comes into, because I've been in times where I haven't been sure about a decision and I'm wanting him to tell me it's okay. That's when then like neither of us are sure, because he's like, well, if you're not sure, I'm not sure. Nobody.
Plus it's dangerous, right? Because at that point, the last thing you want to do is, well, you said,
Yeah.
you want to get into that. I mean, at the end of the day, what I'm asking you for is some advice. I'm not too sure. What do you think? I'm not too sure either. That's okay. That's a good answer. If you're not sure, you're not sure.
Yeah.
You talk your way through it. And maybe at that, you don't make the decision. If you're both not sure, it's probably not the smartest move on the planet, because you want some semblance of confidence somewhere. You don't have to have nobody's guaranteed anything, but you want to be at least a 50-50, I would assume, or a 40-60 or somewhere in there. But if you're only 10% sure, I mean, let's go grab a lottery ticket. It's the same odds.
Both clear that it's 10%, right?
Yeah, as long as if you're both on the same page, do whatever you want. Who cares?
To be clear that you're going to react the same way when the
bottom
90%
line, right?
probability happens, right?
Yeah, because if you're 10-90, I'm sorry, the consequence is heavily stacked. That's not going to work. As long as you're both on the same page.
Yeah.
That's what's great about the couple you talked about, Phil, is at least they were having a conversation about it.
At least they were talking.
Exactly. They were,
and at least you know how they felt.
Yeah.
No, they weren't.
Didn't work.
Wow. They weren't really.
It's hard though, Phil. That's really tough.
And then at some point we were both like, okay, have another glass of wine. Probably.
Wine solved it all.
Yeah.
Wine cures everything, at least for the evening anyway.
Yeah.
And the next day it all comes back.
Yeah.
That's tough though. Like that's tough on a relationship, especially if you're very different mindsets.
Really tough.
Right.
We could do this all night.
I know.
But we're
we
at
could do
an
it
hour
again though too, right?
And we can keep going after this, but we should probably get you guys to leave some details here first.
Yeah.
So would you because everything's a little bit new here and we haven't had you on the show, would you guys tell like the audience where they can find each of you, and then the shop
send it together,
and then we'll make sure we put it all in the show notes so that people know. I hope that this is one of our heavily clicked, episodes,
me too.
Right? That people are coming to.
Great.
Awesome.
Great. You go first time.
Sure. LaurieShopland.com is where you can find me, and all the stuff on Joy Club's on there as well. And it's and I do lots of free trainings. So just start following me at Laurie Shopland Coaching. And if anyone's interested in learning a new way to lose weight, because it's super fun. We have a lot of fun.
Yeah. Laurie.
Yeah.
I was going to say that, not Lori.
So she's modest. Her Instagram is fantastic. So Laurie Shopland Coaching on Instagram. She does great stuff on there. And is on there a lot and a ton of stuff. It's interesting. When we were doing the Natural Product Academy a little while ago, one of the content people we were talking to was helping us out doing some things. And I made touch base with her after Laurie started doing her thing, saying, Laurie's doing great stuff. Like, she's all over my feed. This is fantastic. So check out Instagram, usually is her best stuff for it. So, and for me, you can catch me at Shopland Health, Shopland, shoplandhealth.ca, and all on there about business coaching and what I do. And that is our group as well. So we have some combination stuff on there as well.
Awesome.
And like I said, if there's a couples out there, if there's people that are interested, reach out to us, either one of us, and we'd love to talk to you. And we're really in the research phase and wanting to kind of, we think there's something there. We've talked to a few couples and we've talked to a few businesses that we think there's there. And we're thinking of a group setting of some sort.
Right.
You get a chance to be able to share stories and talk about both your business and even I think solopreneurs where their partners are involved in it in some way, may not be 100% in the business, but certainly involved in it. It would be beneficial for as well.
It's awesome.
And soon on all of our feeds will just be grandbabies, just so you know.
Yeah.
I just expect that.
That would be awesome.
I know.
That would also be awesome.
Yeah.
We're both on Clubhouse too.
Apparently.
Yeah. Who knew?
Hey, how does that happen, Laurie Shopland? That you get on Clubhouse, but you don't invite your husband to Clubhouse?
Exactly.
She's busy. Busy. Other things going on. He's a big boy. He can figure it out himself.
You use your invite
Jimmy,
code,
he
by the
was
way.
all alone. Like I
I have
talked about
invites.
these, like,
Sorry.
Whatever. Let him go meet his. Make him make his own friends here and there. It's not going to kill him.
There you go. There you go.
Jeez, it's not like he's unfriendly. Whatever. Figure it out.
Jimmy, I was talking to him and he's like, I'd love to get out. I think Laurie's on Clubhouse, but
Yeah.
I don't know for sure. She hasn't invited me yet.
I got an invite. I'll give you one, man. Like
Story of my life. Story of my life.
Sorry, honey.
It's all good.
And
good.
that's my Clubhouse handle is Laurie's husband. So, yeah.
That way people will know you.
Yeah, exactly.
Stop it.
No, it's not. It's too
Yeah,
short.
I love it.
It's all good.
We miss
So
you
good
guys.
to see you guys.
Yeah, you guys too. It was nice. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Been a
having
long
us.
time.
Super fun.
Wonderful.
We'll catch up late in the fall. I'd like
Yeah.
to know to get through
Yeah.
the summer. Have both kids first, then we'll come
There you
back.
Yeah.
Peanut and bean. It's the way I differentiate between them. Is
Okay.
like, how's my peanut? How's my bean?
That's awesome.
I know.
That's gonna be cool. Do you know what they are? Do they said
No,
anything?
neither of them are choosing to find out which
Okay.
is great.
Good. Whatever. What comes out comes out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Healthy,
That's all
healthy,
you
man.
asked for.
That's all you're shooting for. Is healthy.
Yeah.
Blessing
Um,
either way.
The two of you, if you want, we've got a blog up now. We've been putting some stuff up here and there. If you
Nice.
guys want to put up any thought articles or you want to repurpose anything,
Okay.
just throw them at me. I'll make sure they get up. We do get people who read them. It's another backlink. So if you're on
Yeah.
SEO stuff, then it's another backlink. It's
Yeah,
so
good way to keep it moving.
Great.
Very
Okay.
cool.
Well, it was all about us tonight. I really do want to hear how all of you guys are doing. It's like, blah, Shoplands just threw up all over you.
Well, it's
No,
it's your
we're
show.
so
It's not
glad.
our show.
we're on here all the time.
Yeah. I know what Phil. The sad part, I already know what he's doing. I'm not interested in knowing what Phil's doing. And likewise, he doesn't want to know what I'm doing. We're more interested to see what other people are doing.
Yeah.
Right on. Right on. Well, we appreciate it. Thank you guys so
Yeah.
much.
No, it's good. I'm glad you guys came on. That's cool.
Yeah, we're really
It's
glad.
nice seeing you.
Yeah,
Okay. Say hi to Kathy and Amelia for us.
I will do that.
we
Okay.
will. Okay.
Good.
Okay.
Take
Ciao,
care.
guys. Take care of
Bye,
yourselves.
guys.
Ciao.
Bye.
Well,
Well,
they're a nice couple.
awesome.
Yeah, they're a nice couple.
Awesome. That's exciting. It's
It is exciting. It's hard
it-
though. It's hard. It'd be hard.
Yeah.
Where it's tough working with your spouse. I mean, the bonus they both have is at least they both sort of had that mindset, which does make it a little easier to flow. Because I can understand what your friends are going through,
Yeah.
right? I mean, because it's just different, right? Not everybody has these mindsets. It's, I mean, upbringing, the whole. It's tough. It's tough.
I
Right.
think all
Whatever.
of it changes. Like everything changes in your life, and like some things you take for granted, right? Like
Yeah.
so, whether you're grateful for your spouse or not, like when you change things, Kathy makes
It's
more
tough
money
on
than-
everybody.
Kathy makes more money than me now, right? Like in some households that'd be a problem.
Even better.
I'm great.
You should
with
tell
it.
Kathy to work a little harder so you could go down to 28 hours a week. Except don't say that I said that. Someone else said that.
No, I say that all the time. And
Yeah,
she's the
absolutely.
opposite, because she's like, she sees me landing things. She's like, so listen, like when do you get big enough that we can?
No,
quit?" I'm like,
no,
oh no, honey.
no. Because as soon as you get to his size, you've got to drop something because you don't want to
Yeah,
get too
yeah.
big. Otherwise, you're back to full time.
Yeah.
No. That's not how you do it. You can't see at our level. It's just about you get to the top of the hill, put your picnic table down, and look. I don't want to climb any higher. I don't need to go any higher.
Yeah. The top.
I don't
of
want
the
to go
hill
back
is like-
down. I just want to stay up on top.
And your only point is to sit at the picnic table at the top and balance.
That's it. Just balance it out. And ideally, have people come and see you at the picnic table. I don't want to go back down the hill and back up. That's too much work.
But there are only so many seats at the picnic table because.
Oh
you
yeah, no, it's a small picnic
Stack too
table.
many people. The table tips.
No, that's no
So it's a
good.
very
And we're not
fun-
bringing another picnic table up. No, there's not enough room.
No expansions. No.
No room. No room at the end. No room at the end. Anyway,
Awesome.
buddy boy,
Thank you.
are
very
we
much.
on tomorrow? We got to do some stuff tomorrow, you and I, or what are we doing?
Yeah, we probably should, right?
We got meetings like
uh,
here and there all over the place,
Let's
but
see. Let me